Hello and welcome to episode 14 of Redcast. I'm Eric Lanin, host of the Redcast. This is part 4 of a 4-part series going through CRM for nonprofits. If you haven't seen the first part yet, go ahead and click here. Otherwise, stay tuned and you're going to listen to us talking about why Salesforce and how to evaluate Salesforce or other CRMs for your organization. So we've seen a lot of development on the Salesforce side to assist higher ed and NPSP to help foundations and nonprofits with managing students, grants, donations. So how does someone get started? So let's say I'm starting a foundation where I've started to get to a scale where it's like I can't manage this with Excel anymore, where it's the mundaneness of trying to do my VLOOKUPs and managing my if logic and trying to take all of my inbound communications, because I'm not going to be able to remember more than 10 conversations in a week. How does someone get involved or get started with exploring Salesforce or CRM in general?
I think I would start with just exploring CRM in general and start do some, whether it be mapping or post-its or however you want to call it. Throw post-it notes on a board to say, where are we tracking right now? And maybe some other ways to generate these post-it notes would be, what are the spreadsheets that I'm having? What are the databases that I'm currently using? And put all that stuff on a wall so you can start looking at what's the data that I'm currently tracking? Where does it live? What are we using it for?
Who's responsible for it?
Who's using it? Kind of think about the who, what, where, whens. Maybe trying to answer the why. Why do we care? If you don't have a why, it's you shouldn't really care about that. So I think that's a great first step. You don't even need to know what solution whatsoever, but you can at least start knowing what am I wanting to track. And maybe with those post-it notes, you can start carving out, once you did whys and the whats and such, start being able to figure out what do I want to tackle first? I think a lot of us go, I want to do it all right now.
Oh boy.
And which is fine. You can do that, but it really boils down to time and money and resources. And if we all won the Powerball, we could all make it all happen right now. But we can't.
It's the reality.
Most reality. So how do we phase this? And maybe it's, let's tackle this segment first. Let's take these 5 spreadsheets that we have. Let's put that and just transfer that over to Salesforce and build the processes and the data models for that. And then we'd have this next set of 5 spreadsheets or these other databases that I have. And you really try to clump things together that you can do a phased approach to use your CRM in an efficient manner, and at the same time get immediate need or immediate response. Because if you try to tackle it all right away, it's going to be a lot longer than if you could try to piecemeal stuff together and be able to have a quicker turnaround and get better use cases, and even in a lot of cases understand what can we do in later phases to maybe learn what we're learning.
Absolutely.
Because switching over to your other question of how do you learn Salesforce or how do we learn what exists out there, there's a lot of different trains of thought for it, and it kind of goes to your learning style. And I'm a learn by doing kind of guy. I'm the guy that's usually going to break the connection and we'll figure out we'll fix the connection. Other people will want to read the documentation. There's if you want to read documentation, there's thousands and thousands, if not millions and millions of pages of Salesforce documentation that exists out there. Of course, you have something like a Trailhead that's really nifty, where you can learn Salesforce, and there's a couple really good trails. I think there's one that's just Learn CRM, I think is the name of it, and it's a handful of trails of what does it mean to be a CRM, and also having a gateway to what is Salesforce. So what's the contact and accounts? What the heck is an object? What's an opportunity? What's a record? And it kind of talks through some of the Salesforce lingo, and that's a really good trail just to start off with, try to learn the lingo. I think about beyond Trailhead, it's getting access to a trial org. And so with Salesforce.org, you can create trial orgs that have, say, NPSP installed already, so you can get a look and feel of how does this look. If you don't want to when you get that, you'll be your production instance, and so you could create a sandbox environment to play in that. And that way you know that you're not really kind of touching stuff, because you're probably going to learn right away that you're going to make a lot of mistakes. The first time I loaded data, it was 8 times to load the data in there. So, if you're thinking about, okay, I'm going to add a field, things along those lines, do it in a sandbox first. And with having a trial org, you have the ability to do that. Or even with having a Trailhead account, you have access to a dev org. And that's really powerful, because that's kind of your own personal sandbox. And then you can play and look, how do I create a process? And going back to learn by doing, you can be clicking around, seeing what's going, or maybe if you're reading documentation, you can read in that documentation, and then you can be seeing firsthand, whether saying click here and click here, you can be looking at that documentation. So those are the telltale ways. If you're find a blog, they're probably on there. Some of the other ways that I personally like to recommend people is find people that are using the system right now.
Oh yeah.
How did I learn Salesforce? I talked to other people. I went to the local nonprofit user group. Ironically, I went to the first time and ended up being a co-leader after the first meeting. So watch out.
Doors open.
Doors open. But by going to those meetings, you're meeting other people that are using Salesforce, or maybe at the same point as you. Maybe they're still vetting Salesforce. But at least talking to people yourself, you're getting to learn how are they using it, what are some of their pain points. Salesforce isn't just this amazing solution that
we complain about.
We complain it, yeah. There's a thing called the idea exchange that people will voice their opinion about what Salesforce needs to do, and so you get to learn both the good and bad.
Thanks again for watching this video or podcast. If you enjoyed it, please subscribe. We highly encourage it and really welcome the support. You can find all of our other discussions on YouTube, Stitcher, or iTunes. And this is where you can find our other topics about marketing automation, CRM, Salesforce, and a host of other topics.